I'm truly grateful to ACPR, all the members, for giving me this opportunity. It means a lot to share the dais with such esteemed scholars, uh, all the experts of philosophy here. Before I begin, I want to take a minute and I want to ask you, can you all remember the time, the moment when you all felt truly divine? It was something like divine, something like God for you. So recollect that and then we can start. I'm sure it must be something about just like the yesterday's musical concert, which felt really divine because of the artists and Dr. Ashwini, or like a serene walk in the nature, a deep conversation with the person you truly love, something like that, where we all can feel very divine. But to know the real nature of gods, we are told that one needs to be in the company of saints. Saint Ramdas tells us, Jagi thorala devato chorala se, Guru vinato sarvathahi na dise. To know the real nature of God, you need to be in the company of saints. You need to ask them for the path. I want to recollect here two incidences which are very parallel. One is in the life of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Swami Vivekananda when they first met. Vivekananda, being a curious mind but of a skeptic kind, he was asking everyone, every expert of philosophy, Sir, have you seen God? Sir, have you seen God? But what satisfied him was the reply which Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gave. I can not only see God, I can see it more clear than I can see you, and I can also show it to you. Similar thing happened in the lives of the great gurus of Gurudev Ranade, Sri Nimbargi Maharaj and Sri Raghunath Priya Maharaj. When Nimbargi Maharaj asked Raghunath Priya Maharaj that you are doing this good deeds of healing people, their sufferings with your power, but can you see this virtue? हे पुण्य तुझ्या डोळ्यांना दिसतंय का? So that was kind of like a turning point. And this set the foundation of rational mysticism of Gurudev Ranade. Not just that, but he made it the sole aim of human life. Rational mysticism of Gurudev, it is the experience of God accepted by reason. Nimbargi Sampradaya, also known as Swarupa Sampradaya, which is the vision of self, it's the raison d'etre of human life, same as sage Patanjali sage, tada drashtuhu swarupe vasthanam. We have been listening to a lot of presentations since yesterday, which include some mentions like the divine vision, the mystical vision, seeing God. But if I ask you what exactly is that, let me try to give you a one liner to show the relation between the God, the seeker, Nama, that is the divine name, and such experiences. When the spiritual aspirant, upon receiving initiation of a divine name from a self realized master, slowly develop a faculty of intuition with practice and dedication and encounter God in different forms. These different forms include, as Gurudev listed in his pathway trilogy, morphic or form related, phonist sound related, photist color related, chromatic color related, photist light related, motor movement related, tactile touch related, flavorist taste related, odorist related to smell, and I'm sure you all know about darshan, sparshan, sambhashana. So even the conversational experiences, including sambhashanas. This is, according to Gurudev's terminology, is called as the vastu or the prachiti, which is close to Kant's noumena. Gurudev writes, Anubhava therefore is nothing but a beatic vision of God. So my study revolves around the same, exploring and understanding the phenomenal character of such spiritual experiences. For philosophy, people kind of consider this as a mystical qualia. So, what is it to have a first hand, immediate, direct, and intuitive apprehension of God. What is it like to see God? Existing literature tells us, mostly it belongs to the realm of psychology of religion. It explores the phenomenal aspect of Christian experiences of God, or deciphering the element of grace. My study kind of inspires from the same, and exploring this through the lens of phenomenology, because it is the study of what appears, and phenomenal investigation can help us to simplify the complex and ambiguous topics. An interpretative phenomenological method was adopted to decipher what is it like aspect of Vastu Darshana, or divine vision. Maintaining the confidentiality of identity, a semi structured interview was conducted on a purposive sampling of 5 participants who have been the followers of Gurudev Ranade for the last 2 decades or even more. I would like to mention here some of the people I approached, they humbly refused to speak of their spiritual experiences, considering Gurudev believes in the Gupta sadhana. So you should not be very talkative about such experiences, it might increase your ego. And humility, namrata is a prerequisite to be a good sadhaka. Another prerequisite would be these participants were following all the activities prescribed by Gurudev and followed in the Nimbal Ashrama, which is daily meditation, Anusandhana, which is constant remembering of God, Arti and Bhajans. Some themes were observed when they were asked questions related to the sensory nature of their prachiti, of the Vastu, the emotional dimensions, its distinction from ordinary kinds of perceptions or day to day perceptions, its transformative effects on the daily conduct, uh, usage of metaphors and analogies to describe such experiences. So, I would like to tell some common themes which were observed. One is mental purity. So, it was found to be directly proportional to the depth and intensity of spiritual experiences. No fixed sequence in the experiences, where any experience of sense can collide with the other. So, experience of color, experience of fragrance, they can come at one time or they can appear intermixed. Consistency is one crucial aspect. Timeless aspect, or kala titata, which is very common and experienced by most of the participants. Again, the experiences come with the feeling of bliss and deep inner satisfaction, and it is very repetitive with each experience. A short excerpt from the interviews, a few of them I'm mentioning here. Yesterday, we listened about how Gurudev coined new words in philosophy. One of them is spiriton. So, this spiriton is, it constitutes a morphic kind of spiritual experience which resembles a network of pearls or a coral like structure, golden, white, or black colored but illuminated particles. When asked how this perception differed from other random moving particles appearing before the eyes, maybe a side of some eye surgery, or maybe in the cases like cataract. Second participant, that is participant 2, replied that it could be experimentally verified. For instance, if one stands in front of a mirror, one can see one's own reflection. However, the bindule or the spiriton would not be reflected there, as its origin is not external. This supports Gurudev's writings on mysticogenesis, that the mystical experiences, these are centrally initiated, not peripherally, or they do not arise from any external source. They can look magnified when looked in the sky, and they can look minimalized near the tip of your nose or the root of your nose, which generally contradicts with the laws of physics. Another important point to be highlighted here is Gurudev clearly differentiates between genuine mystical experiences and those which are illusory or delusional kinds. Another participant um, explained that if the Vastu, if the spiritual object is observed through colored glasses, It remains unaffected, it does not look colored, again, which, as I said, contradicts with the laws of physics. And mystical experiences in care, they form a continuity, they are consistent and transformative in nature, unlike these illusional experiences. Another participant described an experience of a strong fragrance perceived during a peaceful time at night. Sorry, not the meditation time. Upon inquiry, there was no possible external source found for the smell. Similar accounts were shared regarding recurring visions of color, of fragrance, or even sounds. It is very interesting to know that even in absolute chaos, these sounds were clearly audible. It was observed that these experiences occur within the realm of Prakriti. It takes us to, again, Gurudev's idea from epistemology. Although these experiences appear through senses, they are indriyatita or trans empirical. There exists a problem of explanatory gap here when we are calling them indriyatita. How does your brain create them? How are we knowing about them? So it's like you are asked to create an invisible building, an invisible palace with using the visible cement, the bricks, and everything. So, how does exactly the non physical is related to physical, the classic problem of explanatory gap? Gurudev, B.R. Kulkarni writes this in his book on simplifying Gurudev's philosophy. So he advocates that all pramanas are ultimately reduced to pratyaksha, specifically atindriya pratyaksha. A couple of participants described a real like presence of Guru, that is Sri Gurudev, either in dreams or during meditation. An irreplaceable connection between the Guru and God was strongly emphasized there. The vision of the Guru was often described as transcending even the vision of deities. We all know the very famous composition of Saint Kabir, Guru Gobind do khade kaake lagu paए, Balihari Guru aap hai Gobind diye bataए. So these experiences are experienced through senses, but their nature is trans empirical. And the culmination of such experiences is Swarupa Darshana. It would definitely take a separate discussion to talk about that, to talk about the phenomenological understanding of Swarupa. But again, it raises a philosophical question. So, are we talking about two different things? One which is being seen and the seer. So, does it create the Dvaita? But absolutely not. As Dr. Marana yesterday presented in his talk, it is indeed an Advaitin journey. Gurudev says, when the sadhaka understands the form descended in front of his eyes is his own Atman, then the dualism ends. So it is indeed the Advaitin interpretation which is maintained throughout in Gurudev's philosophy. I would like to end my presentation by stating a couple of points. The purpose of conducting this interview with followers was to demonstrate the cascading nature of spiritual experiences. So, these experiences of God are not just restricted to any particular era or to any particular lineage of sadhakas, but it is for everyone. And the current contemporary disciples of Gurudev are also experiencing the same thing. In Aristotelian terms, Gurudev states that what a guru is in actuality is a shishya in potentiality. These experiences attained by Gurudev and other great saints are still experienced by the followers which are of contemporary times. And Gurudev would remind us here, I think, it is better to have a Socrates satisfied than a mystic dissatisfied. So these experiences are never ending. They keep growing, and a mystic, the sadhaka, is never satisfied with any. The bliss continues, the joy continues. This study may be taken further with the hope of examining the problem of explanatory gap. It can lead to the discussions about shared qualia, which is not the usual aspect of qualia. the super consciousness or heightened states of consciousness, and another which is my core interest, neurophenomenology. So, with this, I would like to end my talk, and I'm sure Gurudev has taken care of any shortcomings. Thank you all for listening. Thank you so much.